The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Tuesday, not Victory Tuesday. What a kick in the junk, man. Looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza. It looks as sad as we do today. There's nobody out there. It's kind of dark. Outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. Well, at least winter got here. It's 49 degrees. Feels like 33. The high is 51. The low is 37.
He is Nate. This is Kurt. That is Shannon. In the back is Chris. I am Salt and Pepper Poppy. Together we make Hanging with the Boys, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel when we speak.
Yes. Brought to you each and every day by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. When's the next flavor drop, Chris?
The 19th?
I gotta look into that.
Okay, soon though, huh? Before Christmas.
I hope it's not the 19th.
I hope it's not the 19th either.
Good news. Mom bought the stuff to make cinnamon rolls.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, feel it.
That's a
Those
way.
will be coming soon.
Get some victory music on that.
Those will be coming
That's
soon.
victory no matter what.
See there, but man, lots to talk about. Jesse, this is going to be a show for you. We got to talk special teams with all the special teams talk. So we'll get into that in a minute. Kurt, how are you?
Good.
Jesse, you good?
Good.
I like the fit. Look
Thank
good
you,
today.
man.
Yeah,
Thank
Nate,
you.
I like your fit too. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, man.
You bummed
Super.
out? How
Yeah.
cold was it out there?
It was just pretty breezy.
Yeah?
Oh, it was breezy, but hey, I'm good. I'm good. We're right where we need to be right now. Yes, sir.
Oh, my
Rolling.
goodness.
Where's that?
Not on the field.
Your boy ain't help us.
Who that?
Ain't help us yesterday.
Who that?
Huh?
Who is my boy?
You out because like a game like yesterday, I don't know what side of the fence are you on. Are you salivating over Joe Burrow, or are you upset over your boy?
I'm distraught. I'm distraught.
Coach from Pittsburgh.
I'm distraught.
You distraught?
He got to see some fresh blood on the offensive line. Got to see the young guys play, which probably soon we'll get to see a lot more of the young guys playing. But initial thoughts, Kurt, just on the game. It was close. By the way, congratulations to the voice of reason, the only person on the show to pick the Bengals to win. He had the Bengals 33, Cowboys
I don't want to be right
23.
all the time, y'all. I don't want to
Jesse
be right.
Holly, our
I don't
special
wanna-
teams guru that will break down.
What you call it didn't come true though.
It did not.
Last stat of the
If
day.
Gesicki has more than 50 yards and 6 or more catches.
Yeah,
So he did not.
he did not. He had 3 for 24.
But he didn't need to because
No, he
Jamar
didn't
Chase
need to.
said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, Jamar
I
Chase
got
said,
your, I got your
got
back,
you, bro.
Yeah,
I got more than what I got. I got what you want. I got what you need.
it was fun to watch if you're a Bengals fan. You know, the roof was open. It was beautiful. The Simpsons simulcast was going on at
Did you
the
check
same
that
time.
out?
I didn't.
I turned it on for about 5 minutes.
I heard it wasn't terrible.
No, it was actually better than I thought.
Yeah,
It was,
I heard it was pretty cool.
I mean, the technology with getting the actual game playing and Lisa Simpson running for the
Homer,
touchdown.
Homer intercepted Bart.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard
it was funny.
really cool.
Yeah.
But Kurt, initial thoughts. Kick us off.
Well, it was disappointing for sure. I mean, you'd hate to lose a close one, a game you had a chance to win.
So close.
I know it, so close. So yeah, and then but besides that, the injuries on top of that made it even worse.
No, thoughts definitely go out to Overshown, man.
Yeah,
that
talk about
that
him.
just hurt. That hurt my soul.
Yeah,
Whenever,
really
especially when you
tough,
heard this
really
morning
tough.
that it might trickle over into next year,
26,
right?
We may not see him. Yeah.
So-
but yeah, I was just
Mozzie screwed us again.
How?
Don't say that, Jess. Don't say that.
All right, I won't.
Go
say
ahead,
that.
Kurt.
well, I mean, it just seems like the final nail in the whatever hopes there were.
Mathematically, you're still alive.
Still
right?
alive, but just rough night.
Yeah. What about you, Nate? Overall thoughts?
I'm good, man.
All right, Jesse.
Yes,
how
sir.
about
I'm
you?
good.
You know what side of the fence he's on then, I guess.
It's in the past. Moving on to Carolina.
Good teams find different ways to win football games.
Thank you.
Look at Kansas City, look at Detroit, look at Philadelphia. Bad teams find different ways to lose games. And I think you saw, look at Carolina, look at the Bengals and their losing streak, and look at the Cowboys. It's a consistent pattern of the comedy of errors that happen throughout a game, whether it be from the sideline, from coaching, whether it be on the field from players. You just see those things continue to pop up in moments where you need guys to be at their best. Sometimes you just need guys to do simple things, and they don't, and your team loses because of it. And when you go back and you watch this game, even when I got in late last night from doing my post-game show, couldn't sleep, just, adrenaline's going, you're just up, trying to calm your mind. And I start watching some of the game back last night, and you just start seeing, man, boom, like this with this. And no one thing is, you can say, loses games for you, but there are definite things where you look at and you go, this is what happens to bad football teams. Yeah. So, such is life. In the words of the great Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
You are. Tough one, man.
What about you?
I mean,
This dude, you see his dress tell you about it. He's ready to go up in the Arkansas hills and hide.
Mexico is what I'm ready to do. I foreshadowed this season by booking my trip, and but I do that every year. I mean, it was hard. It was heartbreaking. The injuries were tough, and for the first time this year, you could feel the play. This meant something to the guys. You see Micah on the sideline, and at first when the special teams play happened, and Micah's over there waving his hands, and he's like, "Come on, man!" And I'm like, I was kind of upset because I was like, he's basically calling his teammate out on national TV without saying anything about it. But then the game ended, and he went straight to the locker. He wasn't swapping jerseys. He wasn't out there yucking it up. And I was like, you know what? Good. Showing some emotion, pissed off, like mad. Maybe this is the spark that turns him into a dog, because we always talk about he'll go on his podcast. And we'll see tonight if he has his podcast, what he says, but this meant something to him. And it's weird because they're basically out of the playoffs. There was almost no hope, but they were pissed last night. They were upset. It was like,
it was the worst losses.
Yeah.
Maybe worse than the last year's playoff.
And
This one?
That's what he said. He said it maybe felt worse than last year's playoff loss.
He got a concussion.
So I mean,
he got to check that man for. There's 3 losses this season that was worse than what happened last night.
Well, I wondered if it was more like in those losses they're so blown out by the fourth quarter they've already kind of gone through the emotions of this sucked.
They had dealt with it during the game.
When they had dealt with it, where this one was still kind of fresh and raw. They went right in the locker room.
It was right there. And they probably have heard about Joe Burrow all week long and Jamar Chase, and they had him beat.
I don't know if they had him beat.
Well, you could have. I mean, you had a chance to beat him. You had a chance to.
Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow did what they wanted.
Yeah.
Throughout that game, I mean, Joe Burrow was over 300 yards passing. He looked great. I mean, Micah was. Part of the reason Micah was upset, Micah had a really good game. He had 9 pressures. The only second time in his career where he had at least 9 pressures and no sacks. He was chasing Joe Burrow all day long and could not get to him. Mm-hmm. That's part of the frustration as well for him. He's like, man, I'm out here humping and working my tail off to try to get to this joker, and I can't get to him. And then on the back end, he's completing passes. So it's like, I'm trying, we're trying, I'm definitely trying, and I'm unsuccessful, and then I'm getting no help on the back end because he's throwing dots to Jamar Chase. I mean, when you go 14 for 177 and 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
He did it so smooth. That 177, and the way that Joe Burrows would let Micah just think he got it. like a matador. I remember one time Michael was coming from the right side.
Oh,
he
yeah,
waited to the
right.
last second, man. It just ducked his shoulder, stepped up. Pow! I was saying to myself, that right there is priceless, fellas. You would die. No, never mind. That's too strong a word. You would, as a coach, to be at the end of a game, both coaches sitting over there, all we need is one play. And Jesse going to break this play down sometime during our show. And but you can't tell me. You don't been in these games with, brother, who going to make this play? The dummy? Are the smart, and who's gonna make this play? You couldn't tell me.
We'll say the trained and the untrained.
Yeah, you can go. This game makes you tired because the roller coaster of emotions is so great, and regardless of what you think about Cincinnati's defense, they were playing tough. Regardless of what you thought about. Our offense, they was hanging in there. They was moving the ball down the field. They were sputtering out. They was making some bad plays, coaches and players. But to get on with a minute or two left in this thing, 2020, and you can make the difference. You can make the difference. And that is where me and Jesse are going to always be on the same page. When my Joes is better than your Joes. Come on, man.
Literally.
Yes. Yes.
My Joe is better.
Yo, Joe. Yeah.
Tough one, man. Tough to. I mean, I don't know if like that game.
Do you need a cleansing?
It almost meant nothing. Like, okay, you win it, so what? You won. You put 3 together, but it was just so defeating.
But
you know.
To us on the outside now, I sit on the outside now, it means nothing. To those guys, it means everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because they win that game last night, that's 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They're still believing. The hope is still there. The joy in going out and playing again is still there. And now you start looking around, you're like, hold on. We can get 4 against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then maybe a 5th against. And then the last 2, we'll see how that goes, and maybe we get some help. Maybe Philadelphia might be imploding again. What they got going on with their receiver and quarterback, and what some other guys are saying about it. So that still gives you hope. And the one thing I want to say before we go to break, because we laughingly joke about it, fans talk about it and push for it, and they got tank websites and all that kind of stuff. And another thing that Nate and I will always agree on, you start talking about tanking, man, and what does it matter? What does it matter? Da, da, da. DeMarion Overshown might. We don't know what his injury is. He could probably never play football again. You think he's thinking about tanking a game?
Right.
And that's what we're talking about from a player's perspective is you are playing in a 100% hurt business. Now, I hope and I pray, like legitimately, I ain't just talking, like I legitimately prayed that for him. And I hope that this young man is able to come back from what this injury is. But when you start talking about ligaments and stuff like that, that's serious. That ain't just that we go back in there, we just, we fix the ACL. Dr. Cooper can do that in his sleep, right? Like, oh, yeah, ACL, we'll do that. But when you start talking about ligaments, now you start needing things to refire and rejuvenate, and those things get working again. That's a 50-50 crapshoot. That's not guaranteed when they go in there that they're going to just all work back together as one and everything's going to be hunky-dory and we're going to get out of here. So when people talk about, oh, tank, lose games, what does it matter? That's why it matters. Mm-hmm. That's why guys go out there each and every week because, and you know why it was so devastating to guys like Micah, to guys like Kendricks and other folks, while that locker room seems so dim. And I said this earlier, you take a guy like Eric Kendricks, who's been in this league for 10 years. What sometimes happens is that you lose the joy of football. It becomes a job. And you sometimes are searching and trying to find that youthful joy that you once had when you were a first-year guy, when you were a second-year guy. That dies at times. Not for everybody, but a lot of times that joy dies. And it becomes work. And then you insert a guy like DeMarvion Overshown who had that youthful joy, who played with that youthful fun spirit, who gave you the good feeling again. And when you're a veteran guy like that, and I'll put Micah in that mix too. He's been around for a little bit. And then, because when you're losing and things aren't going right, like it makes it difficult to come to work. And then you get around a guy like DeMarvion, and you go,
it's fun again.
That's
right?
That's what it means. Mm-hmm. That's what it means. Not all, you get involved with the business and people start telling you and trying to, tell you what you're worth and what you're not worth and all other kind of stuff. That kills the joy. That kills the joy from it all. And then you're able to get back in the situation from guys that you see in that locker room and going, that's the joy that I need to get back to. You told me about 2 months ago about a situation, and you said, Jesse, you're one of the most positive people that I know. But this situation, it's tearing you down, man. And I went home with that, and I said, hey, you're right. That I cannot give that thing any more of my positive energy.
Don't let it take your joy.
Can't take my joy. And you insert a guy like DeMarvion, and he goes, he's inserted joy. He's giving joy back to football. When he goes out there in the practice field and he's running around and he's enthusiastic and he's yelling and that's why guys felt that way about him last night. So when you're thinking about and talking about tanking and you hear Nate or myself say things about like, I don't know about that, it's because you never know in this business that's 100% hurt. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Sometimes in this game, it takes from you more than you're willing to give, and you don't have a say-so in it. And now DeMarvion will be dealing with his second ACL injury plus whatever the other thing that has to happen with that. It's a tough deal.
Was it the same leg?
No, I think opposite leg.
Opposite leg.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about the play and other things on Hanging with the Boys.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hanging with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, the 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. They sure make game day special, and for every purchase of the new Tyson Cowboys Nuggets this holiday season, Tyson Foods will donate $1 to the Salvation Army up to $100,000. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the second segment of Hanging with the Boys, brought to you each and every day by blockchain.com. Thank you, blockchain.com. Kurt,
Yeah.
swing on by your local 7-Eleven right down the street and grab your favorite item from the roller grill.
Glizzy.
Then enjoy a big gulp for just 89 cents. Valid at participating stores. Fill up at Pump 8. Get game day ready.
Oh, big gulps, huh?
All right. Do we want to break the play down or we want to wait till the last
See you
segment?
later.
What do you want?
No, come on. Let's
get it out of the way.
I want Jesse to go.
All right, we have our special
Just get
teams
it out of the
expert here, and he didn't talk enough in the first segment, so we'll let him have the whole second segment. Hopefully not, maybe half the segment to break down. Because when we came in, I asked Jesse off the air because we like to bring our off the air discussions on air.
That's what we do. Nothing else sacred.
That's why
here.
we're called Hanging with the Boys because there's nothing off limits. We
nothing's
just
sacred
whatever
here.
we talk about, we talk about. If he felt bad,
We'll bring up that infection you got next week.
do what?
The infection you were telling us about.
Oh yeah. That can wait. It's not that important.
That I missed.
If he felt bad for
A warrior.
thank you for the help. And he said absolutely not. No. So one, walk us through what happened because there's been a lot of talk about what Jerry said right after the game about, we like to have that one back and and all this and everybody's if you listen to the local media around here, everybody's losing their mind. Like I don't fault Jerry for saying that because right after the game, he doesn't have all the information. Like he's just watching as a fan, and then he goes back and gets
secret
more
between you and I.
That's why you probably shouldn't be talking about the game.
Hey, it's good for us.
Yeah, it
because
is.
we have things to talk about.
Yeah,
but
I guess
he doesn't have all the information, and then he goes and gets it, and then it is what it is. But in the heat of the moment, it's like, hey, he thought they were trying to block a punt in that situation, didn't agree with it, said it, and then he got more information, and he kind of everybody around here is losing their minds. I don't have a problem with it. But, Jesse, walk us through what that play was, what it was supposed to be. Is a big deal being made about they didn't have the punt block on, but they were able to get to it. Why does that make a difference? And then was it a blown assignment? Obviously everybody should have just gotten away, but you tell us from your point of view, knowing how that works. How do you practice it? What do you do during practice and why that shouldn't happen?
Yeah, so let's start with, look at the down and distance and where you're at on the football field, right? The game is in balance, right? It's 2020 at that point in time. The defense gets the stop, right? They get the stop. Now the Bengals are coming out to punt the ball. Just for clarity, there was not a punt block on. They were setting up the return. One, you can tell they're setting up a return because they ended up vicing the left gunner.
What does that mean?
So the gunner is the guy who you see on the outside, it's like a receiver. They're running down trying to get the first guy down there. So that's where Owarriye is and Keemon Hall. You see the other two guys, the two off backers, off and inside on the punt return team.
What does vicing mean?
Vicing means two guys on one guy.
Where they grab him and try to keep him from going by, right?
Assault. It's basically assault. They let you just assault the guy, all the way down the field. And so what ends up happening is you see them do a little bit of a shift, but that's just the numbers. When you start looking at the numbers, there's enough guys for the Bengals to block whoever the Cowboys were going to send. There was no blitz happening. Once you see the ball is snapped, you see them set up a return. They're trying to get a return because at the end of the day, they know indoors, Brandon Aubrey's good for 65 plus. Like you kind of have that in your back pocket. So if we can get any bit of return, because from where they were punting from, you wasn't going to really be able to flip the field that much. Two successful plays, and now I'm in field goal range. I can run this thing out. Brandon Aubrey come in and kick the game-winning field goal. Now, what you saw was Nick Vigil, who just flat out whooped the guard. The guard lunged, Nick Vigil got around. Now, this is me being nitpicky, but when you start talking about the details within the game. So Nick Vigil whoops the guard, and he's supposed to continue on. But what you saw Nick do, and this is not me blaming Nick, I'm giving you the nitpicky details of how you're supposed to block a punt. When you watch the play, Nick hands are up and he swipes down. Okay? What you're taught is if you have the ability to block a punt, we don't want to go hands up. We don't want to swipe down. One, we might miss it. If our hands are apart, you might miss it and kicks it right through your hands. What you're taught is like a diver. Like think Michael Phelps. When he goes off of the platform, you're thinking about this, right? Your hands are supposed to look like this so that there is no space for that ball to get through. My eyes now are on the foot of the punter. I want to take the ball off the foot of the punter. So when I come in, I don't want to come swiping down because if I miss,
hit the punter.
I hit the punter. Mm-hmm. I want to take the ball right off his foot because if I get it, the double thud, poof, poof. Even if I hit him, it doesn't matter. But if I don't get it, his foot goes up, I go underneath him, no flag. So what Nick did, he gets through, but you see his hands are up and he swipes down. Now, here's also why this is important. If Nick comes in with the diver hands, right? When he gets the ball now goes this way. And it's behind the line of scrimmage. So even if you try to get on it and don't get on it, they don't get the ball back. But Nick comes up, swipes down, ball goes off his fingertips. And now the ball proceeds to go past the line of scrimmage. But what it also did was, when you start talking about the way the ball was spinning, it was because it caught the fingertips of Nick's hand. Now, the second part about it, you're outside. If you're a Warrior and you're Keymon Hall and you're vicing, right? You hear the double thud. You hear it. Like I've had a punt blocked on me.
It's off his fingertips.
You hear it. You hear it. And then on top of that, someone is probably yelling Peter, 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 or poison, poison, poison. You hope it's the guys who are able to see the ball, mainly being Kavontae Turpin. And you see Kavontae running up the field, and I'm hoping that he's yelling Peter, 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 poison, poison, poison. Either one.
Which means get the hell away from the ball.
Get away from the ball. Run. You don't want to touch poison. You don't want to touch the Peter, right? Neither one of them. That's the origin of
That's
Peter.
why they say
That's
that.
why they say Peter, Peter, Peter.
There we go.
And so now, if you watch it, Keymon Hall stops. Now he and Oruwariye are vicing. They're together. He stops and gets out the way. Oruwariye turns. And when you watch him, the ball bounces. Side note, Oruwariye, if you want to know how it's done, just go back and watch me do it in the Vikings game a couple of years ago, well, a lot of years ago. And that's how you catch a two bouncer and take it back 82 yards for a touchdown. No, that's either way. But and I
always make the show about myself.
Yeah. Well, you gave me the.
I mean, hell, if I'd have run one back too, I'd have brought it up.
So you see Oruwariye, and this is where you have to understand. When you hear Bill Belichick say, "Do your job," I don't need you to be the hero here. What we now need is for that ball to stay ours. But Oruwariye looks at the ball, and you see him get into a Kurt, you're a baseball guy. He gets into that shortstop stance, and he's ready to kind of attack that ball. Like, you gonna catch it and throw a guy out at first or at home, and you see him looking at the ball, and he's getting ready to attack it, and the ball bounces, and the second bounce. Remember that weird spin I was telling you about? On the second bounce, he caught the weird-looking spin, and he thought it was going to cradle right into his gut. Instead, it bounced and took the weird spin, and it went off his – he was trying to, like, scoop it, and it went off his arm, shoulder, whatever it was, and they were able to get the ball back. Here's another funny thing. The guy that Nick Vigil beat – he lost his job and got it back in 10 seconds. The guard that Nick Vigil beat, number 45, was actually the same guy who recovered the ball after Oruwariye touched it. So, and people are going to say, well, Bones should have said to him, don't do. No, that's not a conversation they're having about that, because Bones is like, we got a return set up. So I don't have to tell y'all, hey, stay off the punter, da-da-da. Oruwariye is a 6-year guy, been in this league. And I want people to understand this as well, because people say, well, he just got brought up and he only played X amount of snaps on special teams. I'm going to tell you right now, unless you are Dak Prescott, unless you are whoever, Like, unless you're CeeDee Lamb, and sometimes even CeeDee Lamb are in these special teams meetings. If the meeting consists of hands teams, if you have some punt return or kickoff return responsibilities, you're in these special team meetings. Now, those days differ from each one. But Oruwariye is a guy who you don't have the privilege of not being in these meetings. Because even if you're on the practice squad, you're in these special teams meetings because you're learning what the other team is going to be doing so that when you go out to the practice field and you're on the scout squad, you're giving the starting squad the best look. So you've heard all of these things being talked about throughout the meetings about when the ball goes past the line of scrimmage, to not touch it. You know all these things. And to be honest, they always tell the gunners that, hey, don't get away from the ball. Like, if we wanted you to return the ball, we would have made you the returner. If we block it behind the line of scrimmage, yes, scoop and score. So he's heard the messages before in training camp, in OTAs, and mini camps, and even at some point in time during the season. So this wasn't one of the bones fossil kind of, gaffes that he has put out this year. This was a player looking at a moment and saying, I could be the hero. And instead of him being the hero, he now became the villain in a loss for the Cowboys because all he had to do was get out the way. And he had more than enough time to get out the way, and he tried to go make a play, and he screwed it up.
Should have listened to Ludacris.
Move, Ayo.
That was my
get
question.
out the way.
And you explained it better. That was my question, though, because I had read somewhere that this was his, although he probably had special teams experience in the past, this was his first game on the punt return.
Don't matter.
You're in a meeting. And I thought, if you're your back's to the game or whatever, and you just turn around and it's you and the ball. I mean, he had space.
Yeah, but
isn't that the natural? I guess that's the difference between doing it right and wrong.
Professional.
And not professional, right. Your natural reaction is there's the ball.
Your natural reaction is get out the way, like you've been taught.
Right.
That's the natural reaction.
That's what it should be. Yeah.
That's the natural reaction. You're get out the way.
So this wasn't not knowing the rules. This was just.
This was a guy trying to
ball.
This was a guy trying to make a play. This was a guy trying to make a play in a tight game, and it cost you. It cost you because when you go back and you watch the play, and I know Nate has his iPad. We can pull a play up. But when you go back and you watch the play, you see him. Like, it's enough time where you see him, he's almost crow hopping. Like, he's crow hopping to time it up, to scoop it and try to run through. Again, that second bounce, he didn't anticipate it being as quick and as jolting as it was. And so he crow hopped like a shortstop would do at a base hit coming his way. That crow hop, I'm going to pick it up, routinely going to do it, and that ball took a weird spin and it jumped up on him. And instead of being a baseball where you can kind of corral it inside your chest, it was a football, oblong ball, bounces different ways on this turf.
What happened after the game? Some players didn't let the media talk to him?
Yeah, I think the media was waiting to talk to him, and C.J. Goodwin stood up and said, no, he's not talking today. We're not doing negativity. And I guess sounded like some other guys kind of spoke up too and said, no, he doesn't. He's not talking, and they went out.
Yeah, that part I don't like either. That's just me.
That's interesting. So I thought my initial reaction was this is a veteran that is trying to protect his younger teammate, but that's not the case.
No.
How you feel about that, Nate?
Because if he would have scooped and scored it, he'd have been in front of his locker like, look at me, look what I did, right? They wouldn't have said, nah, don't talk to him, he's a veteran guy. Nah, so.
Let's go into this break, man. I'm liking your conversation.
I want to know what you think about it.
I'm going to let you know.
When we come back. Nate's going to let us know. He's actually going to talk today. We're going to let him talk. Jess, we're going to let him talk.
Jess, yeah.
That was great stuff, man. I hadn't heard it broken down like that. So.
Yeah, boy, you made it where anybody going to like this kid, but hey, it's okay.
That's the nature of the beast.
Hit him at 4th and long, man.
We'll be right back for the final segment of Hangin' with the Boys.
Wow, good stuff, Jess.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hangin' with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, Crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry. Even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole made with real Hass avocados will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouthwatering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
Hey, Cowboys fans, a 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to the final segment of Hanging with the Boys, brought to you each and every day by Jigsaw, the proud dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. So we were just breaking down, Jesse did a great job of breaking down the special teams block punt that wasn't called for, and then the massive
breakdown, meltdown, blunder,
bad decision to try to field the ball. But that was really good, Jesse. I hadn't heard it broken down like that yet. So back to the question of Jesse didn't like the fact that you had C.J. Goodwin and some other guys not letting media talk to Amani after the game. Nate, how do you feel about that? Good that the veterans were protecting him?
We didn't. Well, I'm going to give you my one experience. The one time that happened with us, it was Leon Lett in Miami, where he did the same thing what Jesse talking about. You know,
that was a snow game.
Should have been a snow game. And we didn't have to protect Leon Lett because the old stadium had an X-ray room, and he ran the X-ray room and locked it. And the only person he opened the door for was Coach Johnson, so we didn't have to protect him. He pepped that into every media type. Even Rich wasn't even in there before he came out.
He wasn't talking to
nobody. That was it. You know, my thing is this right here. You've played tick and tack the whole game. Like I open up saying this, I'm stick with it. You had this one opportunity. Whether this punt block was called for or not, you blocked it. That was your glory. That was the glory of it. Whether you did it the right way like Jesse showed us or the wrong way, you blocked it. You had another opportunity. You blew it. And it cost you the game.
Yeah.
See, people, we talk about it all the time. 1 or 2 plays a game. It costs you the game. You know, and I listen to everybody bringing in this content, what McCarthy should have done, what the players should have done. You was not stopping number one. We got some of the top flight corners in the game. I saw him eat up number 2. I saw him eat up 26, and I saw him eat up number 7. Don't tell me about nothing.
Jamar Chase, before the game, he warmed up in the pregame. Talk about one of our reads. He had a 7-Eleven shirt on.
I saw that.
He was like, "I'm always open." And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna give some to Diggs. I'm gonna give some to Jordan. I'm gonna give some to Ron. I'm gonna let y'all know." And Jamar is chasing the Triple Crown. He's now in the lead he leads the league in receptions. He leads the league in yards and leads the league in touchdowns. So if the season is out of reach for them and they're not going to make the playoffs, then Jamar is like, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this Triple Crown record.
I'm going to go get my record. Huh?
Yeah.
Get mine. And it was, I think if you watched it on TV, I don't know if y'all got to watch it with y'all's responsibilities and everything, but I think they did a really good job because that was the first time I watched the pregame, the postgame, and everything. I think they did a really good job of, one, telling stories, right? Because they had some really cool backstories with Jamar meeting that kid that was in town to see him and what he was doing, and he did the gritty in the end zone. They they told that story, and then following up with players. And something that really stuck out to me was Joe Burrow saying that one route that they ran, that timing route where he threw the ball before he even came out of his break, and it was right on the that coverage was good, right there on the goal line.
The goal line.
And he was like, "Yeah, that's something that we've worked on, and you could tell, I mean."
And Nate knows that. Nate knows that, because Troy and Michael, the Bang 8, that nobody ran the Bang 8 better than those two. Troy can close his eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top of his drop, fire it. Michael can get to his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, outside foot plant, come across that safety's face. I know I got 2 steps before that backside safety give to me, and like clockwork, those two just had that. If you went back and looked at the yardage for Mike in his Hall of Fame career, I'm sure more. I'm not gonna say half. I'm gonna say a large. It's close. Probably came down to those Bang 8s. A lot of what he did was that, and that's what you have when your quarterback receiver was. He knew where to throw it, how to throw it, and it was practice. He got to the top of his drop, and that ball was on the way humming to the outside. Where we always say it's self-defense, because if either you gonna catch it or what's gonna hit you. So it's the self-defense. I gotta go ahead and catch it. That's what you see with those type of combinations.
Nate, I have a question that I hope you can answer for me.
If not, we got Jesse.
All right, the voice of reason.
What y'all gonna do when I'm no longer here?
Why?
Oh, we got through it. We'll get through it.
You gonna get through it?
I'll baffling with.
You're going to have to talk then.
When you lose, you question a lot of things. To whereas if you win, you're like, you just gloss over it, right? So we the Cowboys lost. So I have a question that I can't figure out for the life of me, and I hope maybe someone can explain to me. You have a running back that seems to have found a rhythm that is picked up where he's left off the last 2 weeks. And was averaging 7.3 yards per carry and only had 18 carries.
He was averaging more per carry than the quarterback was averaging per. Yeah.
And he didn't touch the ball the last 6 minutes of the game, and you had two possessions in those last 6 minutes, and he didn't even touch the ball. And I know that's par for the course with the play calling this year, and it seems like we do that every single week. But it seems like he's become the running back that they thought he was going to be in the beginning of the year, whether it's play calling and they're feeding it to whatever, but he's hit a stride. He looks really good. And I feel bad for Zeke, because when you put him in there after Rico, it just looks like he's got nothing left.
Yeah,
I feel
bad for Rico. He's doing something. What else he got to do? What do I got to do to get?
You've been waiting years to take the shot at him. You've been waiting years to take the shot at him. Yeah, give me
taking a shot at him.
What did that sound like?
My boy, right though.
Don't feel bad for Zeke.
My boy, right. I feel bad for Rico.
Because I be saying to myself, now hold on, what would we just? I could turn around and turn back like you, Jesse, and I said to myself, they must have handed this ball to Zeke. I love Zeke. And I'm like, this. But anyway, I'm with you.
Is there a reason? Is there a football reason or a play calling reason? Something that I'm not seeing that's from watching tape that they're.
You are 2020. Your boy is lighting up the skies running the ball. Your offensive line has found a rhythm. 2-3 different positions been changed on your offense, and they still doing what you have asked them to do, and you just stop. I have no one. We wait till Monday or Tuesday, the day after. I just wonder why guys in that moment say, "Hey, coach, you were averaging 7-point-something yards a carry with 6 minutes left. You just did not run the ball." Somebody need to put that question to him.
There's 32 coaches on this staff.
Yes.
32.
And you mean
And ain't nobody go, hey,
coach.
hey, hit the side. Hey, coach. Hey, let's keep running that thing.
Yeah.
Like Mike Solari, somebody. Hell, offensive lineman got to come off the field and say, hey, because like one of the turning points of that game where you have you had Rico, he gets the 14-yard carry, and you go pass, incomplete.
Just take him right out of his rhythm, even if you were going to give him the ball.
You just killed your drive.
Yeah.
And that's the part. And Michael from Pittsburgh, he gets up in the media often. He says, we got to run the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to establish the run. And then in the moments when you need to, when you were gashing them, they had no answer for you running the football. Rico had his best career yardage day, and you picked the worst time to go, let me put the ball in the backup quarterback hands who got a noodle for an arm and has never scored 24 points. I had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In the game. It's
Before we
insane.
go, offensive line, a lot of new faces, a lot of new combinations, moving parts. They do pretty good.
Oh, they did. To me, they did well. The thing is, we only get to see the rewards through the running game. That's what we can physically see as for offensive linemen. Because the passing game, if things ain't going right, we know right away. The quarterback is on his back. But it just baffles you that I've been saying play these young guys up, do what you got to do, and we 12 games in, and you figuring out that these guys can help you win games or help you be in position to win games. Because like I tell you, you can feel. I understand people have to feel content, but this game should have been even uglier. With 6 minutes left, it's like if we lose this, it's going to be on the back of Rico, not on the back of your quarterback. This should have been on the back of Rico, and I don't think he would have let us down. I don't think he would have let us down. He would at least gave us another shot at a field goal,
Yeah.
Hell, all you got to do is get to the furthest point of that star, going the opposite way, and Aubrey's going to give you a chance.
Gonna give you a good chance.
Yeah.
Real good chance.
Man, well, good stuff. This was a good show. Heard different perspectives than what most
Mr.
shows
Fourth
have.
and Long.
Yes, sir. You can send him the good
I'll
stuff
block
today.
you. I mean, you can come. I ain't gonna play with you. I ain't gonna play with you now. We gonna just,
good stuff, Jazz.
If we
Good
don't
stuff,
go that
Nate. Kurt, good
If
stuff.
we can't come to some type of agreement,
Yeah, man. Now, listen, if we can't disagree on what I was saying, now, hey, see ya. Block.
So, short week. What are we doing
You ain't taking
tomorrow?
my joy.
Cowboy, real short week, right,
Yeah,
Chris?
offense and defense. Cowboys offense, maybe? That's what we usually do on
Yeah,
Wednesdays.
Cowboys
Chris, are we
offense.
announcing
Do it all
that yet?
tomorrow.
Are we announcing
Do it
that
all
yet?
tomorrow.
we got to
Right?
do it all tomorrow. We ain't got no other choice.
We don't have a show on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
we're
gotta do it
announcing
all
that. So
tomorrow.
no show on Thursday. We'll do it all tomorrow. Nate might not be here Friday, but guess what?
Do
We'll
it
be.
live.
Guess what will be?
Wings.
Wings.
And I'll be here because if it's
Probably.
free, it's for me.
It's for me. Chris, thanks for keeping us on the air. Jazz and Josh, thanks for keeping them company. We will be back tomorrow. Do all the things on Hanging with the Boys.
We out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!